Hi, everyone, and welcome. I am your astrologer, Core from Core Astrology. Thank you for joining me today. How to navigate a Sagittarius season. In this video, I will be sharing the sun's ingress into the sign of Sagittarius, which occurs on the 22nd of November at 4:34 a.m. South African Standard Time. So please adjust this for wherever on the planet you may reside for your time zone. And I will then look to any important aspects that the sun experiences on her 30-degree journey, which takes just under 30 days. It's about 29 3/4 days. And by the 21st of December at 6 p.m. South African Standard Time, the sun exits the constellation of Sagittarius to move into Capricorn. I will also be looking at any noteworthy planetary ingresses occurring during this time, as well as discussing the new moon, which occurs on the 4th of December at 9:43 a.m. South African Standard Time. And it is a total solar eclipse in the sign of Sagittarius, as well as looking at the 19th of December, which is at 6:34 a.m. full moon in Gemini. I will then look to see how best to use these cosmic energies for your own best potential for all 12 zodiac signs. If you're new to this channel and new to astrology and you don't have your own personal astrological birth time, you can go to www.astrodienst.com, spelled ASTRODIENST, where you can draw up a free birth chart for yourself, which is a lovely way to look at your own chart to see where in your life and in your birth chart these events are occurring. So remember, when you look into your signs, to look to the ascendant. This is the most prominent influence and interaction with your immediate environment and the experience of this. You can then look to your sun for the more yang archetype of your persona, how you radiate out into the world and how you are confident out in the world. You can also look to your moon sign, which will give you more of an internalized, subjective yin view of your experience of the Sagittarius season. The moon relates to our feelings. It also relates to the public at large, or to women or mothers, or even our home and family life and nurturing. So any one of those subjects will be highlighted when you look to your moon sign, when you listen to the forecasts that will be at the end of the video. Right at the end of the video, I will be giving a beautiful guided meditation on the subject of the planet of Jupiter, who is the ruling planet of the sign of Sagittarius. If you want to pop right ahead and go straight into the meditation, please look to the timestamps below. That will guide you there, and equally so to your sun signs for the predictions. I intend to empower, enlighten, encourage, and educate, even inspire my audience as to how best to navigate the Sagittarius season. If you have not subscribed to my channel and you enjoy this video, please give it a like, subscribe, and ring the little bell so that you get future notifications of any new YouTubes that I will be posting. Before I move along into the content of this video, I'd like to also take the opportunity to announce my new Beginners Astrology course, which starts in March 2022. This is a support group of like-minded seekers who are studying astrology, and we will be studying it in the theory as well as in the experiential practice, so that you can integrate the studies and know how to apply it in a day-to-day situation. I'd love to have you join us. Please look in the description below for some more information on the course. So let's look at what the Sagittarius sign means. Sagittarians are seekers and believers of certain belief systems and truths. So they're forever wanting to travel and study philosophy and learn more and expand their world. They like to perceive and explore the world through their belief systems. As a fire sign, Sagittarians seek inspiration and exploration that creates all things expansive. Think of the term wanderlust. Things such as travel, expanding one's worldview, any form of spiritual wisdom, knowledge around big business and money, music, dance, and advertising are all part of the expression of the Sagittarius constellation. As a mutable sign, Sagittarians are concerned with change. They love to complete a cycle and start the next cycle. During this process of change, their primary drive is to gain knowledge and to expand their consciousness. They are comfortable adjusting to external situations and they enjoy being of service. Sagittarians are seekers and they like to perceive the world through their belief systems. They are optimistic, careless, ambitious, lucky. They can be wasteful. They love risks. They can be quite flippant or wasteful, even gamble. They don't like fences. They really do like their freedom and thus avoid commitments. And travel, animals, this wanderlust, the outdoors, adventure, exploration is all very much something they enjoy. They also enjoy religion and philosophy and studies and hanging out with gurus and understanding the bigger picture of any situation. They seek higher education and they love to broaden their life's experience. They can become preachy and spend a lot of time teaching and studying as well, but they are happy to take significant risks and have outstanding achievements as their results. They can be very fun and cheerful, free-spirited, and have a sense of carelessness around them. They may sometimes have a blunt speech and come across as quite tactless because they really are after the truth. They are seeking the truth and they speak their truth. They may be intolerant of ignorance. If your sun sign is in Sagittarius, your priority may be to have fun and enjoy experiences as part of your completion of your personal identity. If your moon is in Sagittarius, you could come across as quite tactless and exuberant. And if your rising sign is in Sagittarius, you may come across as very happy-go-lucky and carefree and freedom-loving. The planet that rules Sagittarius is Jupiter. So good Jupiter is known as the Greater Benefic, also pennies from heaven, because where Jupiter lies in our chart, it always brings us good fortune and luck and blessings. When Jupiter is in the sign of Sagittarius or in the sign of Pisces, it is in rulership and the higher octave of being noble, gainful, spiritual, knowledgeable, philosophical, come to the play and the fore. And if Jupiter is in its detriment and fall, which are in the signs of Capricorn and Virgo and Gemini, the lower octave may come to play to the fore. And these are experiences that may relate to being wasteful or grandiose or possibly even unrealistic or greedy or even wasteful. So even though it is a benefic planet, the greater benefic planet, too much of a good thing can also be a problem. It is interesting to know that Jupiter is 11 times the diameter of the Earth, and 1,300 Earths can fit into its volume. Jupiter is a giant planet, and it weighs 2.5 times more than all the planets in the solar system put together. Jupiter keywords are abundance, accumulation, advisors, advocates, attorneys, large animals, awards, benefits, bishops, bonuses, any books, religious or philosophical, commerce, big business, counselors, courthouses, education, elephants, encyclopedias, exaggeration, excess, fruitfulness, generosity, our hips, honor, hope, income and inheritance, integrity, journeys, judges, knowledge, the legal system and affairs, our liver, luck, medals, merits, millionaires, obesity, optimism, passports, philanthropy, philosophy, prayers, preachers, productiveness, profits, prosperity, success, the Supreme Court, temples, thighs, travel, treasures, trust, truth, value, virtue, voyages, wallets, wealth, winning, wisdom, and writers. Currently, Jupiter is in the heavens at 24 degrees of Aquarius and moves through to 28 degrees of Aquarius during this 29.75 time period of the sun being in the sign of Sagittarius. As the sun moves into Sagittarius on the 22nd of November, it is good to notice that the moon is in its waning phase. It is just starting to reduce from the recent 19th of November full Taurus full moon, which is a time that would have brought things to a head that was started on the 4th of November during the Scorpio new moon. Thus, as the moon wanes, things slow down a little bit from the new moon. And they will continue to do so until the 4th of December when we have the total solar eclipse in Sagittarius. Thus, any projects that you may have started on the 4th of November will come to completion by the 19th of November. And after that, it is a time to wrap up things that started between the 4th and the 19th of November versus starting up new things, because when the moon is waning, it's a good time to complete and finish off things that were started during the waxing phase. On the 24th of November, Mercury also joins the sun in the sign of Sagittarius. Mercury is our ability to communicate. When it's in the sign of Sagittarius, it really is mostly interested just with the bigger picture, talking about travel and philosophy. It gets lost in the details. On the 28th of November, Mercury will cazimi the sun. That means the sun and Mercury are at the same degree. And this gives a lot of strength to the planet that is with the sun. In this case, being Mercury, it would be a great time or a great day, the 28th of November, for you to speak your truth and to be honest in your expression about the bigger things in your life, about philosophies and religions and discussions about travel. Nothing detailed. Details not a good idea. Stick to the bigger picture on the 28th of November when the sun is cazimi Mercury. On the 1st of December, we have Neptune going direct at 20 degrees of Pisces. I think a lot of us have been waiting, all of us have been waiting for Neptune to go direct. Neptune is the planet that rules unconditional love, and it is boundaryless. It allows us to connect with our soul and imagination and our intuition. And with that, it guides us in terms of our soul's journey. So as it moves direct on the 1st of December, it will assist us in finding our hopes and dreams and our visions, as well as anything that is magical and fantastical. It loves dance and music and art. So we'll be looking at where this will affect you in your chart when I get to all 12 sun sign predictions. On the 4th of December at 9:43 a.m., we experience the new moon, total solar eclipse in Sagittarius, which is when the moon starts waxing. Now, it is the south node that is together with the sun and moon in Sagittarius at 12 degrees on that day. So have a look in your chart where 12 degrees sits. And it will be a fantastic opportunity for us to let go of matters around ego in the material world that are holding us back in our spiritual development. The south node, being with the sun and the moon, really wants us to let go of our attachments to ego in the material world in this area of your chart at 12 degrees. So we will look at that when I look to all of the 12 sun signs predictions later on in the video. Also noteworthy, of course, are that during the eclipse season, especially on a total solar eclipse, the veils to the universe thin and we connect to the universal force and the energy from the cosmos a lot stronger. So it is definitely worthwhile celebrating the 4th of December in a very special way for yourself. A week after the waxing moon has begun on the 4th of December, on that total solar eclipse, we find the planets Pluto and Venus conjunct at the same degree of 25 degrees of Capricorn. I will discuss this again in the 12 Zodiac videos later on, the meaning of this being that this is a time for endings related to matters connected with money, love, women, the arts. It is a great time for transformation. Pluto is the planet that guides us to behave like a phoenix that arises from the ashes, or even the snake that has outgrown its too tight skin, which it then sheds so that it can actually fit better into the environment, less inhibited by the old ways. So with Pluto and Venus being at the same degree in the sky, on the 11th of December, you may find on that day a really powerful opportunity for transformation may begin as your soul evolves into a more truthful lifestyle related to where it is in life that you want to be. And sometimes we have to let go of things to move forward. On the 13th of December, Mars then joins the Sun and Mercury in Sagittarius. There will be more activities around the bigger picture, traveling, seeking, philosophies, etc. And Mercury moves into the sign of Capricorn, where it has more of a style that is related to business and organization and wanting to plan things and initiate things and get structure and order into place, which is a relief from Mercury being in Sagittarius, where it really just wants to be a lot more playful and see the bigger picture. So by the 13th of December, if there's paperwork and things you need to do, it'll be much easier than the time before when Mercury has traveled through Sagittarius. On the 19th of December, we will be experiencing the Gemini full moon at 27 degrees of Gemini. So have a look in your charts. If you have any planets there, this is a time for completion and things come to a head. And generally, we are overexcited and overreactive to situations. So it's good to know in advance where this is falling in your chart and how to make the best use of completing the cycle of the full moon, which began on the 4th of December and comes to a head on the 19th of December. The very same day, Venus goes into retrograde at 26 degrees of Capricorn, and she moves all the way backwards to 11 degrees of Capricorn until the 28th of January 2022. And this is a fantastic time. So look in your charts for the degrees 26 to 11. And as Venus moves through there between now and 28th of January, it will give us the opportunity to review our value systems, our self-worth, our esteem in all matters related to our finances, to anything that we find to be beautiful. This could relate also to relationships with women, particularly younger women. Our money, I think I'd mentioned, beauty, art, valuable items such as jewelry, and all matters related to relationships. And then finally, on the 21st of December, the sun will ingress into Capricorn, which will be the subject of my next YouTube. So let me begin the predictions for all 12 signs. I am going to start with Aries, and I'm going to pull up the artwork of Jofra Boschart. Just share my screen with you. I'm going to start with Aries. Aries, in the backdrop of the Saturn-Uranus square in the heavens, which is affecting your chart in matters related to finances and your self-esteem. Many changes are occurring there for you. They're very much related to your hopes and dreams and your income. We see that the Neptune, which will be going direct on the 1st of December, is falling in an area of your life that relates to secrets and hidden things and people who assist from behind the scenes. And there's a great sense of connecting with spirit and the divine or God, imagination, inspiration, and this need to possibly want to be on one's own and feel like one can connect to the world at large in a very unconditional and loving way from a very private space. The total solar eclipse for you, Aries, is occurring in an area of your life that has everything to do with travel and philosophy and spirituality, also the law, higher education, working with foreigners, being outdoors and adventurous. So around the 4th of December, you may find that there will be a big turning point in your life, because with the South Node there, and this being a total solar eclipse, the universe is providing you the opportunity to let go of belief systems that don't serve you, whereby you end up actually standing in your own way, or to accept matters around foreigners, or matters related to legal work, or matters related to travel abroad, or even all matters related to advertising and exploring the world in such a way that there's more of a spiritual insight to it. It's almost as though the ego is asked to be set aside. Something needs to be let go of so that you can actually get a deeper spiritual insight into your philosophies and into the nobility of being spiritual and wise, or being a counselor. The Venus and Pluto conjunction, which happens on the 11th of December at 25 degrees of Capricorn, is happening for you in an area related to your career. There's a deep need, and specifically on that day, to let go of the old paradigms. It is outdated, it's reached its sell-by date, and there's a sense of understanding that the old ways are done and cannot be retrieved, and that a new era is being born, a little bit like the phoenix arising from the ashes and beginning new ways. And because Venus will be retrograding through this area up until the 28th of January, specifically degrees 26 to 11 of Capricorn, there will be a time until January, the 28th, until the end of January, for you to finish off and review the old ways and kind of accept that the old ways are part of history and are holding you back, and it's a way forward. And this could be in relation to your self-esteem, to your value systems, to finances, to young women, to beautiful things, art, creative experiences that need to be overhauled and let go of, so that they can reawaken and emerge as something more with the current times versus the traditional old ways, and actually be a little bit more innovative and profound and empowering in its way. It's as though the old ways are disempowering, and until they are let go, the new empowered version of yourself cannot quite break through, and it really wants to break through. We then look to the full moon, which is occurring for you, dear Aries, in an area in your chart that relates to communication and neighbors and siblings and co-workers. And it will really highlight how the communication in your life plays into rearranging these new ways around your career. And it will also highlight your belief systems and matters related to the foreign or advertising or gurus or counselors, whereby you realize that by changing your communication skills, how you speak, what words you choose, you will be able to move forward in your career. The impact that Jupiter is providing at the time of this full moon is very positive for you. It's in an area of your life that rules receiving love. It rules receiving an income. It's being acknowledged for your merits and for your hard work. And it's really a place where we have hopes and dreams. So by communicating your new belief systems and having hopes and dreams, you will very much come to a realization on the full moon that you can hope and dream for the things that you want in your life. And it is the place of imagination and connecting with soul and spirit and spending a bit of time on your own, where there's a sense of loss of the ego and understanding that by self-renouncing the material world, you can attain this new way of communicating, and the belief systems or matters related to the foreign or overseas or your neighbors will be integrated into your life. Dear Taurians, for you, the month of the Sagittarius season, starting the 22nd of November till the 21st of December, is all being stimulated by the Saturn and Uranus square in the heavens, which is really demanding great change of you, because Uranus is in the sign of Taurus. It wants you to be innovative, and it's seeking freedom. It wants to be a bit of a maverick and do things differently to what you've known. So you've been experiencing this all year because Saturn and Uranus have been squaring up all year. And now as they're getting closer for their final conjunction in December, you're really feeling this strongly. There needs to be change. You cannot hold on to old ways. And the sense of great awakening and being an individual and doing things in a unique way is really pivotal in this coming Sagittarius season for you. And it very much relates to what your status in the world is. So this could be changes regarding your career. This could be changes regarding your actions out into the world or what your vocation is. Neptune going direct on the 1st of December will really aid you towards going for your hopes and dreams. Have a vision. Doesn't matter how magical or fantastical it is or seems to be. That is what Neptune is all about. It's about having dreams and being unconditionally loving and trusting and being this visionary that throws himself in on the deep end and just believes that this is the most ideal and wonderful way to be, and that can incorporate music, dance, art. Neptune takes us into a different world where we feel like we're wearing rose-tinted glasses. And for you Taurians, this is a time for you to be experiencing this strongly throughout the Sagittarius season. The total solar eclipse on the 4th of December will be occurring for you Taurians in an area in your life that has everything to do with transformation. This is a time of letting go, grieving the old, and transforming into something more true to yourself. It's about looking at anxieties and fears that are keeping you from being more intimate with yourself, where are you standing in your own way? And how can you let go these blockages or fears or anxieties that you have that are holding you back in your life? The total solar eclipse has the South Node with it. The South Node is asking you to be less materialistic in your experience of life and rather more spiritual. And by letting go of certain things in your life, and this could be an income that you're receiving, this could be an inheritance coming your way, this could be matters related to taxes, any matters related to how you are a resource to others and how they are a resource to you. This could be financial, this could be material, physical, this could be spiritual, this could be emotional. There is something there that needs a great transformation so that you can be more truthful to yourself, and it's fine to let go. This is really what the new moon eclipse is about, because of the connection of the South Node, which really wants to distance itself from the material world and have more of a focus on the spiritual soul's development. Then we have Venus and Pluto at the same degree at 25 degrees of Capricorn. And this is happening on the 11th of December. And Capricorn, Venus in Capricorn will be going retrograde until the 28th of January, and will be continuing the theme that will start off on the 25th of December, which is a time where you will realize that matters related to overseas or foreigners or studies, the law, advertising, belief systems, gurus or counselors that you possibly were working with, courses that you are on. It is time to overhaul this. This is the area in your life where the phoenix arises from the ashes. You need to burn yourself down in terms of the belief systems and the key points I've just mentioned, because it's holding you back and it is disempowering you. And by letting that all go and rising from the ashes, I often think of a snake as well, that if the snake is growing and the skin is too tight, it cannot move forward. And sometimes it's got to shed the old skin so that it can come out larger and stronger in its way. And this is very much what is occurring, and you'll feel this strongly around the 11th of December, where it'll come to a sort of culmination point, but then it still takes time to unravel until about the 28th of January for you to really integrate this letting go of the old paradigm around your belief systems and courses that you're studying, or possibly teachings that you're doing, or foreign language that you're studying, or friends from overseas. The full moon for you, dear Taurians, is occurring in an area of your life that is very much related to your self-esteem, your finances, and your own value systems. So this will be a good time to look at how you're spending your money, how you're investing it, what you hold dear to yourself. And it is the influence of Jupiter coming from an area related to your status and your actions out in the world that will assist you in refining how you manage your finances and your self-worth and confidence in the world. And it is the dreams that you have, the hopes and visions, no matter how fantasyful they feel, that you really want to attain in your life, that are going to be questioned on this full moon. Are the visions that you have about your hopes and dreams really what you want, and are they really attainable? And if you can get your head around understanding how you are a resource for others and they are a resource for you, you can make those shifts required for you to follow your dreams. Have a happy Sagittarius season, dear Taurians. For Geminis, welcome Geminis to the Sagittarius season predictions. For you, this time of the year plays out on the backdrop of the Uranus and Saturn square that we've been experiencing all year, that's coming to its final head in December. And you've been asked throughout this year to look at which cycle in your life has completed. There's a sense of liberation and wanting to break free and connecting more to spirit and imagination, and a way of being whereby you can actually retreat from the world a little bit in a very innovative way. So this could mean that you are working from behind the scenes. This could mean that you're doing research behind the scenes. And it's very much related to your belief systems, possibly courses that you're studying or teaching, possibly matters related to foreigners and secret things around foreigners, or the law, or even advertising or exploring. So there's a connection between going a little bit deeper into the subconscious of what it is that makes you function. There may be a look at any acute illnesses or chronic illnesses and possibly addictions that one can look into to say, where am I not looking after myself well enough, and what changes, what innovative changes can I do? Where can I shine the light onto something to let go of an old way of being that does not stand me in my current truth of what my belief system is? And this could very much be related to travel or foreigners or matters related to belief systems. Your hopes and dreams of this unconditional loving way of expressing yourself as a visionary is dominant in an area of your life that relates to your career or your status in the world, or how you act out into the world. And Neptune is in this area of your chart, asking you to be more of a visionary, to see the greater picture, to have unconditional love in the work that you do. This could be through art, music, dance, photography. That would be the higher octave of it. Also working with chemicals or studying anything to do with chemicals is something that would be very beneficial to you. There is a sense of just going the full hog and having this big vision of what the most magical, fantasy-filled kind of career or actions out in the world could be. And this could be through theater or drama or art, or simply through teaching or changing something in your career where you encompass more of the unconditional love. This could include voluntary work where you are loving everybody equally and assisting also people who can't afford assistance. This is really a way of connecting to the world in a very boundaryless way. And the upcoming new moon on the 4th of December, the full total solar eclipse in Sagittarius, is occurring in an area of your life that has everything to do with relationships. So this could be a business partnership. This could be a marriage partner. It could be a live-in lover, or just a best friend. And what this new moon on the 4th of December is asking of you is to let go of the things that you have expectations about regarding these relationships that may be standing in your way of relationships. So this could mean that perhaps you actually end a relationship with another, or it could mean that the relationship that you're in with your partner receives a fresh new outlook of how a relationship could actually be if you toss aside expectations and judgment and actually see the person for who they really are. So the insight here is to ask you to have more of a spiritual connection to partners versus necessarily a physical connection with a person, because often the physical experience could be ego-based, it could be more material and almost narrowed-minded, because we as humans are spiritual beings, not only physical, material beings. We are at our core spiritual, and this new moon is asking you to see the spiritual aspect of the relationships that you're in. And this may mean that you need to let go of relationships that are holding you back in terms of the spiritual growth. The Venus and Pluto conjunction, which occurs on the 11th of December, 25 degrees of Capricorn, for you Geminis, is occurring in an area of your life that demands transformation, irrevocable change. It's a time to let go, grieve, let something die, let it go, so that you can be more intimate with yourself by actually looking at what anxieties and blockages are keeping you from taking a step forward into a life that is more true to what it is that you want in your life. So there could be anxiety or grief about letting go of things. There could be the heartache that comes with that. But equally so, there could be this newfound revelation of a sense of instantaneous healing, that you're actually standing up for your own truth and you're willing to understand that the resource that you offer to others, this is emotional, physical, spiritual, financial, or the support that you receive from others emotionally, physically, or financially, or spiritually, is really the driving force of allowing this change. Because with you standing in your own way, you may not be able to make these changes. And with this beginning around the 11th of December, considering that Venus will be going a retrograde all the way until the 28th of January, this is a fantastic time to look at your value systems, specifically around money and what you value in your life, but also around the material things, beautiful things, art. But it can also very much relate to loving relationships, specifically also with younger women, because Venus rules young women, but it also rules relationships. So there's a sense of needing to let go of an old paradigm of understanding what a relationship means to you, and to transform yourself into a more empowered version of yourself, so that you can get closer to your own needs within a relationship, and with that closer to another person as well. The full moon on the 18th or 19th of December, depends on where you are in the world. Is it occurring in an area in your life that has full focus on you and your persona and your physical health? Can you express who you are, which is more of a chatty person, light-hearted as an air sign? Can you be who you want to be and be truthful towards yourself, understanding that change is part of the thing that you enjoy as a mutable sign within the relationships that you're in? It is very important to realize that whatever relationships you're in gives you the space for you to be who you are 100%. The support that you'll be receiving on this full moon, on the 18th or 19th of December, comes from your belief systems. So this could be matters related to foreigners, or traveling, or studies, a course that you're giving, a course that you're taking. And this very much relates to belief systems, philosophies around such relationships and who you are within such a relationship. And the Neptune vision of what your status in the world can be in this very unconditional, loving, visionary way will aid you in discovering what relationships you want to keep in your life, and how you can build on these relationships so that you can be more of this unconditionally loving, visual person in terms of visual, as a visionary out in the world. Enjoy your Sagittarius season, dear Geminis. Bye for now. So let me move on to Cancer. Welcome to all of the Cancerians to this Sagittarius season forecast. This year is the backdrop of the Saturn-Uranus square in the sky, which for you is occurring in an area of your life that is asking you to make changes around what your hopes and dreams are, what income you earn, what groups of friends you associate with. And there's a need to find friends that are more independent and freedom-loving, that allow you to be more of a maverick, or perhaps they are more of a maverick. People that love you because of your uniqueness. And this may have been rather tough for you, because Saturn is an area in your chart that relates to irrevocable change. This could mean that friendships end for good, and that grief and heartache is part of the process. This could mean that possibly even somebody has passed away, hopefully not in real life, but it could be, but possibly also just in terms of outgrowing the friendships or the groups of people that you've been with. And it very much relates to how you are a resource to others, financially, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and how these friends and groups and the hopes and dreams that you have are a resource to yourself. And this entire year has requested that you make these big changes so that you don't stand in your own way. in terms of being fearful or having anxieties around this, because if you want intimacy with yourself, you've got to stand up for what you feel you are as a resource to others. And you've got to hang out with people who connect with that. And otherwise, groups of people or friends may have left you in your life or are changing. It could be that the friends aren't leaving you, but the way that you've had the friendship is changing. Neptune is in an area of your chart that allows for fantastic spirituality and this open-minded, unconditional, visionary idea of philosophy or travel or a course that you're teaching or attending that is very much related to the unconditional love and the need to be a visionary and to have dreams and to acknowledge imagination and the right brain and the spiritual world. And this very much ties in with your hopes and dreams going forward. You would like to be with people who are spiritual or philosophical or possibly foreigners or teachers or gurus. And this very much ties in with the changes around the groups and friends of people that you've been hanging out with in the past that throughout this entire year has changed. The total solar eclipse on the 4th of December in Sagittarius at 12 degrees is occurring in an area of your life that very much relates to your day-to-day routine and how you are of service to people, as well as acute disease or illnesses that may come from unhealthy dietary habits. So it's very important here not to stand in your own way, because on this new moon eclipse on the 4th of December, the South Node that is conjunct the Sun and the Moon is asking you to have more of a spiritual approach to your day-to-day routine and how you can be of service to others. So anything that's material or ego-based that you're trying to cling to is actually in your way of you becoming more free in terms of your soul's journey and what you'd like to experience spiritually in your life and what would give you fulfillment in the day-to-day routine and how you are of service to other people. And that will also heal you from any diseases or illnesses that may come from overwork or a bad daily routine. Perhaps you're ready to let go the long hours spent in front of the TV and you'd rather want to meditate and do yoga. There's something about your own psyche that is ready to let go so that you can upgrade and be more truthful to yourself in these matters around also your pets, if you have any pets, your illnesses, the acute ones, if you have any, your day-to-day routine and how you are of service to others, which includes employing staff or being a staff employed by somebody else. The Venus and Pluto conjunction is occurring for you on the 11th of December at 25 degrees of Capricorn in an area of your life that very much relates to marriage partners, business partners, best friends, and live-in lovers. So it would seem that you've come to a realization that something needs to end. It's almost like if you were a snake growing and you don't fit into your skin anymore, you need to shed the old skin so that you can become bigger and grow. Or I think of the transformation of the phoenix that burns herself to the ashes only to emerge more empowered. Or I even think of a worm crawling around on the ground, eating leaves and getting to the stage where it becomes a pupa and turns into a soup, which all those cells rearrange itself, and then it can fly with beautiful wings and have a much better perspective of the world looking from the top down. It's that kind of overhaul of letting go of old expectations and judgments around partnerships that you have and realizing that they just don't work in that way. And unless you let your old ways go, you won't be open to meeting somebody new or becoming more intimate with a partner if it's not somebody that you're letting go of. Perhaps you're meeting somebody new if you are single. Perhaps if you are in a relationship, you may want to end that relationship, or you could just end the way it's been experienced because you've realized that there's so much more depth to you and that you want to move beyond your own boundaries when it comes to being in relationships. You will have time all the way until the 20th of January to figure out, to reassess the relationships you're in, to reevaluate them. And this could also be matters related to money or any kind of relationships with persons, but it could also be specifically about young women. Maybe you meeting a new young woman, maybe you're ending a relationship with a young woman. It could be people who are designers or artists or create beautiful things like jewelry, or it could even be your financial advisor, because Venus also rules wealth and money. So there's a massive need to transform the relationship that you're in regarding the Venus there in that area of your chart. When we come to the full moon, which is around the 19th of December, 6:34 a.m. South Africa time, the full moon is highlighting an area in your life that relates to everything to do with isolation. You would really prefer around the full moon to be away from the world, to be on your own, resting, doing yoga, contemplating, integrating, getting some time to come to grips with matters in your world. This could relate to secrets. This could relate to losses or endings. This could relate to just wanting to connect to the imagination and the intuition of your soul or God or the universe that guides you. And the only way you can do this is by being alone, feeling like you are making time for prayer and connecting with the spiritual way of being. It is a inspiration that comes through foreigners or belief systems or philosophies or gurus or matters related to foreigners or overseas that inspire you. There's a sense of being connected to all through a belief system and having visions and hopes and dreams about matters related to this vision, which could relate to foreigners, overseas, law, advertising, adventures that will assist you in this time of transformation, whereby you realize that the service that you provide for others and the sense of feeling isolated and having to give up things of yourself that may even cause chronic illnesses needs to change, wants to change, and be limitless in your sense of what are my belief systems? What are the philosophies and religions? What is it that I want to study? And go for what for you is the most fantastical and magical opportunity that you have, because this is the energy that is guiding you at the moment. Cancers, enjoy your Sagittarius season. I hope this has been helpful to you. Take care. Thank you and goodbye. Hi, Leos, and welcome to the Sagittarius season predictions. For you, dear Leos, the changes in your life throughout the greater part of 2021 have been on the backdrop of the Uranus-Saturn square, which has asked you to become a lot more independent and a bit of a maverick and doing things in your own unique way when it comes to your career and your actions out in the world and your social standing. There's a great sense of independence and freedom that's coming through to you. And it culminates towards the end of this year. So you've had a good experience of this, and it's almost getting better up until the end of the year. It's like you're shaking off the shackles of things around your vocation and career or your status or your actions out in the world that do not allow you to be uniquely, independently, divinely, maverickly yourself, and very innovative in that way. And it is a relationship in your life. So this could be a marriage partner, business partner, best friend, live-in lover that has helped you to restructure this opportunity for the freedom in your career that has been the foundation of the change of this year. Neptune's lying in an area of your chart that is very much related to being a resource to other people. And with Neptune there, it would seem that it's very idealistic. And it has the sense of rose-tinted glasses, of unconditional love, and being very much a visionary in terms of how you are a resource to other people. This could be financially, this could be spiritually, this could be emotionally, this could be physically. And it's mutual. How is a partner in this very unconditionally loving way, in a very romantic, fantasyful, visionary kind of way, a resource to you physically, emotionally, spiritually, or financially? And it is during the lunar eclipse on the 4th of December, which is happening at 12 degrees of Sagittarius, that you may realize that the way that you have been giving love, or the way that you express yourself, or the way that you like to be playful and go on holidays and be a lover and have fun or be creative, needs to be let go of, and a kind of deeper sense of spiritual enlightenment about how you express yourself welcomed. This is because the South Node, which is there at the total new solar eclipse in Sagittarius on the 4th of December, is asking for you to go even deeper into the spiritual and to kind of negate the ego or the materialistic world when it comes to holidays and fun and being romantic and giving love of yourself. And it's this fantastic opportunity. It also matters around children. Perhaps you are letting go of wanting to have your own children and realizing perhaps by adopting a child, you could still have the sense of love without the ego or the material need to own a lover or own a child or own a piece of artwork. There's this need to go beyond that and actually realize that by standing in one's own way when it comes to what you experience life to be, when it comes to the fun aspect of your life, the travel, the creativity, the lovemaking, etc., isn't enough for you at this point in your life, because you can actually go deeper by letting go these expectations or judgments around those themes and actually looking at the truth of what such joys bring in your life as a viewpoint of something more imaginative, something more connected to God and the spiritual world, versus just a physical experience of such matters related to fun with children, etc. The Venus-Pluto conjunction on the 11th of December at 25 degrees, and then also the Venus going retrograde to 11 degrees of Capricorn, which lasts until the 28th of January 2022, is occurring for you, dear Leos, in an area of your life that relates to your day-to-day routine, how you are of service to others, how your staff is of service to you if you have any, how your interaction with any animals or pets that you may have, as well as any diseases that you may have related to a, let's call it imperfect or not the best day-to-day routine that you could have. And there's a sense of understanding that an old paradigm of how you used to be and what used to give you security and make you feel like you were master at the certain day-to-day routine or health matters or matters around staff or your pets is now truly outgrown. There's an understanding that to move forward in your life, it's time to let go of this old paradigm of what seems to be security for you. And you really have time until end of January, while Venus is going through the sign that Pluto is also in, to relook at how you can upgrade, a little bit like a phoenix arising from the ashes, burn down the old ways to then rise more empowered, or a little bit like a snake that has outgrown its too tight skin and that needs to shed a skin so that it can actually move freely again. Or I often even think of a worm that's stuck to the ground, walking, eating leaves, then pupating and actually being able to fly and have a much bigger vision of the world and show off their beautiful wings. So there's a great need to transform your day-to-day routine, matters related to staff, your pets, and even matters around health. The full moon for you on the 19th of December at 6:34 a.m. South African time is occurring for you in an area in your life that has everything to do with your hopes and dreams. What is it that you wish and hope and desire for yourself? Because it's in an area of your life that blesses you with good luck and love received from others. This could even be an increase in salary. So there's a sense of focusing on receiving love from others, receiving an increase in salary, creating or making or belonging to a new group of friends, and welcoming this into your life. It is a partnership with another that really blesses you and assists you in this process, because Jupiter is in an area of your life that rules the blessings and the good fortune around partnerships, marriage partners, live-in lovers, best friends. And it is Neptune that's in an area of your chart that allows you to be unconditional loving in terms of receiving resources from others and giving them to others that will help you in this process of activating your new hopes and dreams in your life and changing your day-to-day routine so that your status in the world can change regarding a very meaningful relationship with another person. Leo, I wish you a beautiful Sagittarius season. Thanks for joining me on the predictions. Take care. All the best. Bye. Hi, Virgos, and welcome to the Sagittarius season forecast. For you, this year of 2021 has the backdrop of an independent new way of being through foreigners or through studies. Belief systems are changing for you. There's a great awakening about being more innovative about philosophies and religions and matters related to travel or teachings or learnings or foreigners or even the law. And this has been part of you restructuring your day-to-day routine of how you are of service to others, or how staff, if you have any, is of service to you. This could also very much relate to pets that you may have, to your health, your day-to-day routine, what it is that you're eating and how many exercises you are doing. There's a sense of restructuring that throughout the whole year. It's very much related to foreigners and overseas. So for instance, in COVID times, a lot of people wouldn't travel as much and their day-to-day routine would change because they're working from home. It's that kind of scenario and everything that it affects around that. Now, Neptune is an area in your life for all the Virgos that relates very much to fantasy and romanticism and this kind of pink-colored glasses vibe of who would be the most romantic person I could think of marrying, or what could be the most ideal visionary kind of partner that I wish for myself. Somebody who's unconditionally loving, somebody who has no boundaries, somebody who's happy to do volunteer work and who can relate to everybody. It's almost like a perfect kind of person is the Neptune energy, because it allows for imagination and intuition and your gut feel. So generally what would happen is that you could meet people throughout this time that are like that. Perhaps they're musicians or artists or spiritual people or dancers who bring in that sense of dream and fantasy and vision into your life. The new moon on the 4th of December, total solar eclipse in Sagittarius at 12 degrees, is occurring in an area of your life related to home and family matters. So this could be that there is a need for you to let go of, because the South Node is with the sun and the moon, which is why it's an eclipse. And the South Node wants us to let go of our ego's need for the material world of expectations and judgments. And by doing this, we end up standing in our own way. And this new moon eclipse, which opens the veils between us and the cosmos so much stronger in the eclipse season, is really giving you this opportunity to say, how could you be more spiritual when it comes to home and family matters, when it comes to your home and land that you live in? Is there a way of connecting with people in an unconditionally loving way that it has no judgment and no expectation? Is there possibly more dance or music or art or photography that you want to bring into your life? More meditation, more connection to imagination and spirit is really what is on offer here throughout the Sagittarius season. And the Jupiter and Pluto conjunction, which is occurring at 25 degrees of Capricorn, and then Venus goes retrograde until the 28th of January, which really gives you time to deal with the sense of need for transformation, which occurs on the 11th of December. This transformation for you is happening in an area of your life related to children, to how you are a lover to others, how you give of yourself, how you express of yourself, how you like to have fun and be romantic and go on holidays. And with the Pluto-Venus conjunction happening in this area of your life, it is asking you to let go of an old paradigm that is outgrown, that no longer serves you, which you used to think gave you security. However, it's a paradigm that no longer holds value for you. And it's actually blocking you in your way forward in terms of how you'd like to have your home and family life. continue. So keep that in mind. It's not saying goodbye to children. It's not saying goodbye to a romantic relationship or to a lover or to a piece of artwork that you're busy creating or to a poem that you're reading out. It is about understanding that it's not the material aspect of that experience. It's not the ego's aspect of the judgment and the expectation around that. It is more the unconditional loving way of understanding your soul's need in these events to be more imaginative and to be connected to your intuition regarding these matters. Then you'll be on the right way. Now, the full moon that occurs on the 19th of December at 6:34 a.m. South African time is occurring for you, dear Virgos, in an area of your life that relates to your career and your status in the world and your actions out in the world. And it would want you to have understood the letting go of matters around how home and family should egotistically must be, that gives you the spiritual insight of the unconditional love around home and family life that allows you to focus on your career and your status and your actions out in the world in a way that gives you joy in the work that you do. Matters around your day-to-day routine and work and co-workers will assist you on this full moon. And it could be the visionary relationships with partners that you have, or friends, or live-in lovers, or best friends that allow you to understand the vision of being somebody who's out in the world in a new status. Sometimes we get married or divorced, our status changes. And it is this kind of change that you're experiencing, that you have the support from very unconditionally loving friends, partners, business partners, or marriage partners to aid you to this new version of being out there in the world. Virgo, may you enjoy the Sagittarius season. Take care and thank you for joining. Hello, dear Librans. Thank you for joining me on the Sagittarius season forecast. The backdrop of this year for you, dear Librans, has been a demand for changing in quite an irrevocable way your dependency on others or they on you. This is very much related to being an emotional, physical, spiritual, or financial resource to others, or they to you. And by doing this, you've had an opportunity to understand yourself in a more intimate way, especially around matters that may have blocked you in the past, traumas or fears that have kept you from being intimate with yourself because there's been this thing that's been blocking you. And the energy of Saturn has been assisting you with this irrevocable change about resources with others and intimacy with others in a very upbeat way, by asking you to be a little bit more giving of yourself in a romantic way, in a creative way, in matters related to children and how children are managed as a resource to you and you to them. Equally so, it could be art, holidays that you've been going on, anything that's been quite a lot of fun, really is assisting you in this change of welcoming and acknowledging that having a bit of fun, taking some time out, being romantic, being a lover, giving of yourself, doing some sort of creative new thing is really been helpful to you to understand yourself better and get closer to what your needs are. Neptune's in an area of your chart that very much relates to your day-to-day routine, how you're of service to others, or how employees are of service to you if you do have staff. It also relates to illnesses, diseases that come from overwork, or to pets if you have any. And in this area, there is an opportunity to become more of a visionary. And on the 1st of December, as Neptune moves forward, there's a sense of, if you could have the most ideal day in your life in terms of your day-to-day routine, if you could have the most ideal sense of being of service to others, or the most ideal pet that you wanted, or even the most ideal staff, or how could you be the most ideal staff to others. This could include imagination and creativity and a sense of unconditional love. How can you be more unconditionally loving in these activities? And from the 1st of December onwards, you'll find a sense of this moving forward. This could involve photography or music or videos or fantasy and visions that almost seem magical. However, they are real. You will require these visions for you to move forward in a new way in terms of your day-to-day routine. It's an energy that asks you to dissolve the old ways and be kind of more unconditional and loving and less filled with boundaries in terms of how your day-to-day routine or your service to others could be. The new moon eclipse on the 4th of December at 12 degrees of Sagittarius, the total solar eclipse, is occurring in an area of your chart that relates to communications. So this could be a way of teaching, this could be a way of communicating, this could be a way of filing and doing paperwork, or even relating to neighbors or co-workers that could be possibly too filled with expectations or judgments that might be preventing you, making you feel like you're standing in your own way, that you could let go. You will see possibly on that day, maybe there's paperwork that you don't need to do anymore that you've done before, that you realize is actually more of the material plane of existence, while your thinking and communications and talking and matters related to your neighbors, perhaps you're doing more creative things or imaginative things with them. There's a sense of having more of a spiritual outlook on how you communicate and think and talk and teach and learn, or more of a spiritual outlook about your neighbors or your siblings. That energy is prevalent there, asking you to get out of your own way so that you can experience more of a expanded version of your thoughts and thinking without limiting yourself. The Venus-Pluto conjunction, excuse me, which is happening at 25 degrees of Capricorn on the 11th of December, is occurring in an area of your life that very much relates to home and family. And it would seem that there's a sense of security and familiarity that used to be very important for yourself that you've now outgrown. It could be the location of where you're living. It could be the situation around the home and family, that the structure that's been around for the last 29 years or so is coming to an end, and matters related to love, relationships, beautiful things in your house, value systems around your house, self-esteem within your home and family is in need of an overhaul. It's a little bit like a snake that's outgrown its too tight skin and that needs to shed its old skin so that it can actually move freely because it's bigger now and stronger than it was before. Or I often think of the phoenix, that the phoenix bird that decides at some point that it needs to completely overhaul itself and burns itself to the ashes and then is reborn as a kind of more empowered version of itself. Or even a worm, if it's crawling along the ground, eating leaves all day long, and at some point pupates and then becomes a butterfly and can fly and now have a much higher perspective and a better view of everything that it sees than it did when it was crawling on the ground. It's that kind of evolution and massive transformation, which sometimes can seem quite scary because it's almost like a death of something familiar. In this case, it's a death of something familiar around the home and family life. Something is coming to an end as you know it. And it's between now, the 11th of December, when I say now, and the 28th of January, while Venus is retrograding through this area, that you want to complete off those things. You realize, you acknowledge the way things have been won't continue, but yet there's a winding up that needs to be done, completing of things around these matters where Capricorn is. Then the Gemini full moon, which is on the 19th of December at 6:34 a.m. South Africa time, is occurring for you in an area of your life which is all related to foreigners, overseas, teaching, spirituality, philosophy, religion, travel, belief systems. And it is matters related to having fun, or romance, or being a lover, or matters related to children that will assist you on these journey of new belief systems or travel to overseas. There'll be a lot of fun involved and expressing yourself in a fun way. It is the matters related to the dissolving of your day-to-day routine, where there's a request to be more of a visionary and use more imagination and intuition in your day-to-day routine in terms of the work that you do or the people that you employ that are staff for you. That will also assist you in understanding the way forward in terms of how you communicate and what it is that you want to do related to your belief systems or studies or matters related to the foreign. Thank you for joining me, dear Libras. I wish you a fantastic Sagittarius season. Take care. Welcome all Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant signs. Thank you for joining me on the Sagittarius season forecast. For you, this year has been a backdrop of a lot of changes around relationships. There have been the themes of independence, erratic energy, chaos, new beginnings, innovations, being independent, being a maverick, doing things in a very unusual way, as a backdrop to trying to organize matters related to home and family life. And it is Neptune that is in an area in your chart that is truly desiring unconditional love when it comes to matters related to being romantic, giving love of yourself, being a lover, matters related to children or expressing yourself in a creative way, and all sorts of matters related to home in terms of family and travels, having a good time, and doing this in a way that is very imaginative and visionary and almost glamorous and unreal and fantasyful. This is the energy of Neptune. It really wants us to visualize the absolute best version of matters related to children, having fun, being a lover, expressing yourself. So there's great potential for being very creative around matters in your home or matters related to relationship, because Neptune rules imagination and intuition and creativity and this unconditional love and a sense of forgiveness and also a sense of philanthropy and wanting to do volunteer work that can aid and assist others. The new moon eclipse on the 4th of December, and might I add, on the 1st of December, Neptune is moving forward, so there'll be some forward movement in these matters. The new moon solar eclipse in Sagittarius, which occurs at 12 degrees on the 4th of December, is occurring in an area of your life related to value systems, to finances and money, and to self-esteem. And there's a sense that you're standing in your own way a little bit because the South Node is in this area, and the South Node wants us to let go of ego, judgment, and expectation around the areas in our life where it is visiting. And at the moment it's visiting in this area of your life around finances and self-esteem. So it could be that there's a sense of loss of the material finances. There could be a sense of a loss of self-esteem or confidence, or loss of a certain value system that you've been carrying with you for a while that actually will benefit you in terms of becoming more spiritual and understanding the value systems that are not about judgment and that have nothing to do with expectations, and equally so earning money in a way that is born of true value systems, the things that you really believe in. When we look to the Venus and Pluto conjunction at 25 degrees on the 11th of December, it's occurring in an area of your life related to how you think and communicate and paperwork and matters related to siblings and your neighborhood and your immediate environment. And the question is, how can you let go of a thought process or a way of thinking that has been serving you for the last 29 years? And it is a way that used to feel like it gave you security, relationships to a certain environment, or even to a sibling, that now feels like it is oppressive. And it's a time to overhaul and transform the way that you think, or a relationship with a sibling or a neighbor or the environment that you live in. And I often think of the phoenix bird that gets to a point in its life where it realizes it wants to burn itself down to the ashes because it's feeling oppressed, and it re-emerges and rebirths as a far more empowered bird. Equally so, we can think of a worm running around the ground, eating leaves, and at some point it pupates and then it starts flying, and it's so much more beautiful, and it has such a bigger perspective from above. Or even a snake that's outgrown its skin and it needs to shed that skin because now it's bigger. There's a sense around that energy when it comes to how you think, how you communicate, matters related to your neighbors and your siblings. And it's on the full moon that you will experience a great focus on what resource you are to others, spiritually, emotionally, financially, physically, or they to you. What kind of interdependence is there? And there's also a focus very much on traumas or fears or anxieties or blockages that are keeping you from being more intimate with yourself. It's as though you may be anxious or have concerns about, are you valuable and a resource to others, or are they a resource to you? And by doing so, you're missing out on the intimacy with yourself, because it's almost like you're blocking yourself, or you could be blocking yourself from experiencing, receiving from others or giving to others. And there's certainly a need of irrevocable change and possibly even grief or an ending that comes with that, because the area of your life that's being highlighted is one where one realizes, wow, something hasn't worked. There's been a blockage or a trauma, and I want to release that so that I can welcome more intimacy with myself and what it is that I need. And I don't want my fears to hold me back. So sometimes it's a grief or loss of one's old ways. Sometimes it can even be grief or loss of a situation or a person. And the full moon is being aided at the time by matters related to your home and family life. So this experience of wanting a bit more intimacy and looking at one's fears and anxieties, or experiencing loss and the transformation that goes with grief and beginning something new again, is very much related to your home and family life, where you're living, what's happening around you in the family life. And there seems to be a dissolving or sense of unconditional love around a lover, or how you are a lover, or how you are creative in the world, how you express yourself, maybe matters related to children that seem to activate this full moon and push your buttons a little bit in terms of thinking, is this a magical, fantastical vision of a romance? Is this really what I want for my children? You may be incredibly creative. You may come up with an incredibly creative solution in any form or way that will assist you in understanding your self-worth in relation to the self-worth of others, and being a resource and dependent on others, or they on you. Dear Scorpios, thank you for joining me. I hope that you have a fantastic Sagittarius season. Take care. Until next time. Bye. Dear Sagittarians, welcome and thank you for joining me on the Sagittarius season forecast. Firstly, happy birthday to all of you, to all the Sagittarius suns. Of course, the Sagittarius moons and ascendants won't have a birthday now, but for those who have their sun in Sagittarius, I wish you a most prosperous, expansive, explorative, and adventurous year ahead for you. The backdrop of 2021 with the Saturn-Uranus square for you has been in an area related to your day-to-day routine, how you are of service to others, matters related to your health and pets at home that have been jolted and shaken up a little bit. There's a need for being innovative. A little bit of chaos is healthy in those areas. There's a sense of being independent and a bit more of a maverick and doing things in a more unusual way. And this is very much tying into how you communicate, what your paperwork is involving, what your relationship to a sibling or your neighbor may be, that is assisting you in creating this more freedom-loving maverick type of day-to-day routine. This could also involve having fantastic insights into matters related to health and having big turnarounds there, and with the sudden insight a bit like a lightning strike, saying, wow, I realized something about my health, which is related to my day-to-day routine or how I am of service to others that I want to free myself from. And it's matters related to Neptune, which will start taking off from the 1st of December, because Neptune has been retrograde and starts going forward on the 1st of December, that relate to you creating the perfect vision of what you want your home life and family life to be. Be bold, be unconditional loving, have fantasies, and they may seem magical and a bit of an illusion, but they are ultimately a vision, and without visions we cannot have dreams. And Neptune is in an area in your life that really wants you to dream of the most fantastical home life and family life that you can imagine for yourself. And it is during the 4th of December, new moon, total solar eclipse in Sagittarius at 12 degrees, that the focus falls on yourself, on your physical body, on your persona, and how you shine out into the world. And with it being an eclipse, it means that the south node is close to the sun and moon, and they're all in Sagittarius. And the south node asks us to be less materialistic, less egotistical, less judgmental, have less expectation. As a matter of fact, it wants us to have no expectations and no judgments of ourselves. And it wants us to feel the spiritual need of your persona. So as a Sagittarian, if you can connect to your soul's yearnings and your spiritual needs and let go anything whereby you judge yourself and that is related to the material way of you being, then you're going to make the best use of this energy, which really wants you to connect to spirit and God and higher and imagination and intuition. And by doing this, you actually get out of your own way, because the minute ego or expectations or judgments step in, then you are not in sync with God or the universe or divine love and unconditional love, which is really what this new moon is all about for you. And on the 11th of December, we have Venus and Pluto conjunct at 25 degrees of Capricorn, in an area in your life that is very much to do with your value systems, your finances, and your self-esteem. And the idea with Pluto conjoining with Venus, which rules money and values and young women and beautiful things and art and jewelry and relationships, is that Pluto wants you to overhaul all of this. Pluto is saying, it's done. This is an old paradigm. Put a line in the sand. It's over. It's not working anymore. It's oppressive. And by making these transformative changes, you can then empower yourself and your new sense of self-esteem and a new way of managing your finances and value systems will emerge. But only once the one door is closed can the new one open. So I often think of a snake that's outgrown its skin and it needs to shed its skin so that it can actually move in its greatness, because now it's bigger than it was before. Or I think of the phoenix that once in a while decides it needs to burn itself to the ashes and then arise far more empowered and enlightened. Or even I think of a little worm crawling around, eating leaves all day long, and at some point it pupates and it emerges as a butterfly, beautiful, transformed and flying with a much better perception and view of the world from above than it did as it was crawling around the ground. So there's this request for you to emerge as a butterfly or shed the old skin around matters to do with value systems and self-esteem and finances. And it is during the full moon on the 19th of December at 6:34 a.m. South Africa time that the focus falls onto your relationships, marriage partners, business partners, best friends, live-in lovers. And it is through the communications with them, and this could be through studies or a way of thinking or a way of writing or communicating. It could even relate to co-workers or siblings or the neighbors that you have that may assist you in discovering what it is about your home life and family life that seems to be dissolving into more of an ideal way of being. And this could involve music, art, dance, photography, movies. There's this need to have home life be more dreamlike and more imaginative. And through the way of communications or with assistance of a sibling or a neighbor, you can relay this to a marriage partner, a best friend, a business partner, or a live-in lover. Dear Sagittarians, thank you for joining me on the Sagittarius predictions. I wish you a fantastic month ahead. Take care and be blessed. Bye for now. Hey Capricorns, welcome to the Sagittarius season forecast. Thank you for joining me. We'll be looking at the month ahead for you, and we can see that the Saturn and Uranus square in your lives has been playing out in an area of your life where there's been a lot of excitement and innovation and newness around how you express yourself in terms of how you give a love of yourself. So this could be as a lover with a romantic partner, but it could also be in a very creative way, just in terms of how you express yourself, or it could be related to children in your life or holidays and having fun. Maybe you've gone on very exciting new holidays that you've never done before, something that is innovative and freedom loving and allows you to feel more independent. And this is very much related to your finances, allowing you to do these things, your sense of self-worth and self-esteem, managing that well enough so that you can express yourself in this more almost erratic and excitable, surprising kind of way. Neptune is an area of your life that is related to communications, siblings, and neighborhood. And what Neptune is bringing into your life is unconditional love. There's a sense of one with the universe, one with imagination, one with God, one with the soul, and a sense of being limitless in your thinking and understanding that you can think anything that you want to, and as long as it's unconditionally loving and imaginative and creative, then you can't be going wrong. And this really starts kicking in from the 1st of December because Neptune's still retrograde until that point. Then the total solar eclipse in Sagittarius at 12 degrees, which is occurring on the 4th of December, opens the veils for you to the other worlds that are more related to being a bit of a recluse or a nun or a monk, and kind of stepping away from the world, finding space for yourself to be alone, where you can connect to imagination and spirit and God and everything that's unseen and intangible, be it dancing, music, yoga. And there's a need to understand that a cycle is coming to an end. There could be a sense of loss around it. There could be secrets that need to be kept or discussed or revealed. The South Node is with the Sun and the Moon in Sagittarius in this area of your chart. And the South Node has everything to do with letting go of expectations and judgments around matters in your life that relate to you being of value to others from behind the scenes, or even around matters related to chronic illnesses that you may have, things that you haven't seen, because this area also highlights the subconscious, our shadow side, suddenly seeing things about ourselves that we've been judging or having expectations. Oh, nice thunderstorm outside. I don't know if you can hear that through the microphone, a nice big thunder. And it is by connecting with your shadow side or your subconscious that you may feel there is this area of your chart also rules addiction and things that we do self-detrimental to ourselves. And it could be that with this new moon, you get to understand these things that are standing in your way of you being a better version of yourself, and being willing to release these and free yourself from these once and for all, so that you can actually connect to imagination and God and spirit without having to do that through a crutch or an addiction, or possibly a sense of expectation of having to be a support to others from behind the scenes. Perhaps it's more important for you to connect to imagination and God, and to your own inner self and your own inner subconscious, so that you can understand yourself better, to empower yourself. And it is the Pluto and Venus conjunction happening on the 11th of December, 25 degrees of Capricorn, that is asking you to transform who you are into a new person. It's literally as though you, oh, goodness, sorry, that was a lightning. Powerful messages coming through here from the heavens. Venus and Pluto relate to your value systems, your finances, how you are involved in relationships, especially with young women, or with art or music or shopping or anything that's beautiful and anything that it is that you love in your life. And there's a sense that for the last 29 years, there's a certain way of being that has served you. And Pluto wants you to break free from that and kind of upgrade. And until we close one door, we can't open a new door. And it's literally as though you're in that process, dear Capricorns, to make this massive change that is a change of letting go the old paradigm so that you can be more of an empowered new version of yourself. I think of a snake that has outgrown its old skin. It's too tight. It needs to shed it so that it can come out in full strength and move freely again. Or I think of the phoenix that burns herself down to the ashes and then re-emerges a much fresher, new upgraded version of self. And you will feel this all the way until January of 2022, because Venus is going retrograde in your sign. So it's giving you this fantastic opportunity to look at yourself. How do you love yourself? What are your value systems? How are old value systems holding you back? It's kind of this upgrade of your finances, your value system, and your relationships. It is on the 19th of December that we experience the full moon in Gemini. And for you, dear Capricorns, this is happening in an area of your life very much related to your day-to-day routine. The focus is on how you are of service to others or how your staff is of service to you, and also matters related to illness related to your day-to-day routine, or possibly even pets if you have any. This focus allows you the opportunity to arrange your day-to-day routines in a better way that suit your financial means, but also your value systems and your self-esteem, and also matters related to your health. If your value system and self-esteem of confidence wants you to be healthier, this is a fantastic time to look at your health. If it's matters related to staff that you employ, it may be an increase for them, or it may be retrenching somebody if you can't afford them. So there's also the input around staff or animals and matters related to finances and value systems. Communications may seem a little bit blurry and idealistic at this point of time at the full moon. And the idea is to have a more unconditional, loving way of communicating to others, to siblings, to your neighbors, to be more creative, inventive, imaginative in how it is that you'll be using this energy to improve your day-to-day routine in a way that rather gives you a sense of heart and imagination and a good feel in the heart, to the point that you can visualize and dream your ultimate best version of how you would like to do that. Dear Capricorns, I wish you a fantastic Sagittarius season. I hope this has helped you. Take care and be blessed. Bye for now. Dear Aquarians, welcome to the Sagittarius season forecast. The backdrop to the 2021 year for you has been a lot of changes and independence and unexpected surprises regarding home and family life. And this is very much related to how you are restructuring your own physical health and persona, and how it is that you want to shine out into the world as a very organized and structured person. And this has created situations in your home and family life that bring surprises, and there's a sense of a great awakening around home and family life. Neptune's in an area in your life which is very much related to your self-worth and your self-esteem and matters related to your finances. And the Neptune energy is one of unconditional love. It is a very spiritual energy that sees no boundaries and has the sense of complete faith and trust in terms of your own self-worth and self-esteem and your finances. It starts moving forward on the 1st of December. It's been going retrograde, so things will change, and things that you hope and dream for yourself in terms of your self-worth, self-esteem, and finances will start moving into motion from the 1st of December. And it's very important here not to have any judgment, no expectations, and purely live from unconditional love and imagination. The 4th of December brings the total solar eclipse in Sagittarius at 12 degrees into an area of your life that relates to your hopes and dreams and groups of people and friends and societies, or friends in society. So this is where you dream of what are my hopes and dreams and my fortunes, and also where do I want to be receiving my love from? How do I earn an income? There's a need to look at the friends and the groups of people that you have in your life, your expectations and hopes and dreams, as well as the love that you receive from others. And try not stand in your way of these things by being judgmental or having expectations, because what is happening with this total eclipse, which is a new moon cycle, is that the south node is conjunct the sun and the moon, and the south node is where we are asked to give up the material egotistical way of being, which involves judgment and expectations, and it wants us to connect more to soul and spirit, imagination, unconditional love, God's energy, the universe's energy. So this is very important for you on that 4th of December to connect with your soul and drop expectations and judgments and be open to letting go that part of yourself, or those dreams and hopes and expectations that you have in terms of what your ideal life and your hopes and dreams are, or who the friends are that you have, and actually kind of get out of your own way to be able to move forward in a more spiritual way, in a more unconditionally loving way, and drop the outdated ways of wanting to live up to society's means in terms of expectations and judgments, and be true to what your own hopes and dreams are. We have on the 11th of December, Venus and Pluto joining up in an area of your life that relates to isolation, to wanting to be alone, to wanting to connect with God and nature and the universe, to guardian angels, to the spiritual world. And it is a time for you that begins on the 11th of December as Pluto and Venus join. Venus relating to young women, value systems, relationships, beautiful things, jewelry, art, that allow you to transform. Ultimately, the Venus-Pluto conjunction is about letting go an old paradigm shift that doesn't work for you anymore. And it is in an area of your chart that is about loss and letting go. It is in an area of your life about secrets and one's shadow side and one's own subconscious, where perhaps you get to see a part of your subconscious that you weren't aware of, and you get really deep insights into this and you transform. The idea about the Pluto-Venus conjunction is to transform from the old paradigm into more of an upgraded version. And remember, we need to close a door before we can open a new door. So sometimes it feels like death, an ending of something, and yet at the same time we can't swim until we let go of the shore. So take some time out for you on this 11th of December and gather what it is that your soul would like to let go of and transform. Then on the full moon, which is on the 19th of December at 6:34 a.m. South African Standard Time, the focus is really going to be on having fun. The full moon is in an area related to giving love, being romantic, having fun, expressing yourself, being childlike, being joyous, and it's really about having a good time. In the ancient books, they call it the Yale house, I think. It's the area where people would gather to drink beer and have some fun. So what will help you along with this is you discovering who it is that you want to be in terms of having fun. And it is matters related to your finances or your value systems that may challenge you a little bit. Perhaps you can't enjoy all the fun that you want to have. Perhaps your value system doesn't allow you to give as much love as it is that you want to give, or it allows you to be a little bit cautious in your playfulness. So dear Aquarians, I wish you a fantastic Sagittarius season, and thank you for joining me. Take care and be blessed. Dear Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, thank you for joining me on the Sagittarius season forecast. For you, this year has been a year of change in terms of thinking, thoughts, writing, reading, paperwork, siblings, your neighborhood, maybe even your day-to-day commuting. And these areas of your life have demanded more individuality and independence. Possibly a bit of chaos or surprises have occurred in how you think or in how you commute, or matters related to neighborhoods or siblings. And what you're busy restructuring is letting go of an old cycle that has come to an end. You are busy re-looking at your inner self, subconscious, at secrets that you don't even know about yourself, that you've been hiding from yourself, that you're busy restructuring. There's a sense of wanting to connect with the divine and to give up the material world so that you can be more spiritual in your ways. So this could mean that maybe you wanted to be more isolated this year, the Pisceans, wanting to spend more time on your own to connect to spirit, God, imagination, all the intangibles, to look at your shadow sides, to look at any addictions you may or may not have, and to deal with all of that in the process of upgrading how you think and communicate and talk, and in your relationships with co-workers or siblings or neighbors. Neptune is in an area in your chart that rules you because it's in Pisces, and Neptune is where we dissolve. We dissolve the judgments and the material world and the expectations and the ego, so that we can become more unconditionally loving, so that we can become more imaginative and inspirational. And this is what's occurring to you at the moment, is that you are creating a vision of who it is that you want to be in the most imaginative, magical, and fantastical, visionary way that is boundaryless, filled with love that you want to share with the world. And it is on the, by the way, from the 1st of December, Neptune starts moving forward, so you'll have more opportunity to express this spiritual way of being, very unconditionally loving. And even glamour falls into this, enjoying art and glamour as this new kind of way of being. On the 4th of December, we have the new moon, total solar eclipse in Sagittarius at 12 degrees. And for you, dear Pisces, this is occurring for you in an area of your life that relates to your status, your reputation, how you act out in the world, what your career is, what your vocation is. And with this new moon eclipse sits the South Node, and the South Node wants us to let go of the material world, of expectations, of judgments, and it wants us to connect more with the spiritual yearnings of imaginations and intuition. So it's asking you really to look at where you're standing in your own way through expectations and judgments that you have of yourself when it comes to what your status in the world can be and will be once you let go of the egotistical material view of what a career or a service or action out into the world or reputation is for you. And rather go with letting go that material ego type grip on what you think a career or a status should be, or is expected to be, or is judged to be, and to be completely truthful. That is the meaning of Sagittarius, is to be truthful and honest with yourself and let go this old way that's not serving you. And with that, you can be more honest and have more integrity about what actions or what status in the world or what reputation you'd like to have going forward. Very important time for setting intentions on the 4th of December. Then on the 11th of December, we have Venus and Pluto joining up at 25 degrees of Capricorn, and they are requesting a major overhaul and transformation in an area of your life related to what your hopes and dreams are, who your friends out in society are, and what rewards and income and love that you want to receive from others. This could be, financial through the work that you do. This could just be love received by friends and society at large for what it is that you do out in the world. Venus is going retrograde from 25 degrees all the way to 11 degrees up until 28th of January 2022. And during this whole time frame, Venus, while it's retrograde, will be re-evaluating the friends and the groups that you have in your life, what your hopes and dreams are, and how you want to be earning an income and be rewarded for your efforts out in the world. And there's a sense that there is a need for a paradigm shift. When Pluto is involved, a door needs to close before a new one can open. I often think of a worm crawling on the ground, eating all its leaves. Eventually it pupates and flies off as a butterfly, and suddenly it has a very different perception that it could never have had from crawling on the earth. It's flying higher and it has a much broader view. It can see so much more. It has more freedom. Equally, a snake that has outgrown its skin can't move until it sheds its skin. And for you, dear Pisceans, this is occurring in an area of your life related to what your hopes and dreams are and who the friends in society are that you want to relate with or relate to or be with. So keep in mind that this big transformation is an ongoing situation until Pluto moves out of the sign. But at the moment, with the Venus being with Pluto, it really highlights matters related to your finances, relationships, and all the things that you love in your life, and the need to transform this. The full moon on the 19th of December at 6:54 is occurring in an area of your life that relates to home and family life, your location of living, your house, your garden. And it is shining its aspect into this area. And there's a need for you to feel at home and wanting to be at home and feeling almost isolated and alone at home, almost like somebody who's an introvert who just wants to be at home. There's a strong need on this full moon for you to want to be at home, possibly even on your own, so that you can have time for prayer and meditation and maybe fix things around the house. But there's the sense that you want to be in the safety of your own home and fix things around your home or discuss matters around family and home life in a way that relates to letting go of ways that you may be harming yourself in terms of a cycle that has finished. This is the area in our lives where we can look at our subconscious and our shadow side. Are there addictions? Are there things about yourself that you don't know that you've kept as a secret from yourself? And to discover this, it's the best thing to do is to be at home and also learn about your home and family life. Then what will challenge you on this full moon is your idea of unconditional love as a persona, someone who's very giving and who does a lot of charitable work, who may be very spiritual or imaginative or have a lot of intuition around how you want to live your life. There's a sense of glamour and visions around what is the best version of who you are in a very unconditionally loving way. And that might clash a little bit with the full moon in this area of your life that wants you to focus on home and family life. Dear Pisces, thank you for joining me. I wish you a beautiful Sagittarius season. I will say goodbye and wish you blessings, but do stay on if you want to. I am now going to share with you a beautiful guided meditation for the Sagittarius season theme of Jupiter. Welcome to the guided meditation for the Sagittarius season with the emphasis on the planet of Jupiter. Please make yourselves very comfortable wherever you are and relax and enjoy this guided meditation. Preferably don't do this while you're driving. Find some time out, or while you're working or busy, find some time alone that you can actually enjoy and absorb this meditation. I invite you to find your cozy, comfy spot and close your eyes as I guide you through a meditation. Taking 2 or 3 nice deep breaths and begin to relax and settle in for the meditation. Feel how your sit bones are touching the earth or the cushion or the chair. Or if you are lying down, feel how your body is connected to the ground. Notice how your hands and feet feel and how the clothes you wear touch your skin. Notice the play of the fresh, cool night air on your face. Extend this, if you like, to bring attention to the sensations you are feeling inside your body. Breathe into any tightness, aching or stiff areas, and as you breathe out, let the tension dissolve. Let light and ease enter into these areas. Start with your shoulders and then your hands and feet. Breathe out any tension you might have had for the day. Feel all the muscles of your body ease and relax. Be aware of your stomach and allow it to relax too. And let go of any negative or worrying feelings. Now let your attention go to your thoughts. Breathe out any negative thoughts, worries, and concerns. Just let them go or watch them travel by as though they are on a movie reel, and see them as your friends passing by without attaching yourself into the stories. Just wave them goodbye. Then become aware of what you can taste in your mouth and the aromas you can smell. Now take your attention to your sight, becoming aware of what you can see behind your closed eyelids. Next, connecting with your hearing, starting with the sounds of your immediate environment, and then sending your attention outwards to encompass sounds from further afield. We're right in the middle of a high-felt thunderstorm, so I'm not too sure if you're hearing the thunder in the background. Please don't let it distract you. Adjust your posture and take a nice long deep breath in and let it all out as you exhale. True silence is the rest of the mind. And it is to the spirit what sleep is to the body, nourishment and refreshment. We are not alone. Some of us might try to face this great big world feeling alone. We strive to do it all, be it all, and achieve it all by ourselves, without realizing that we are part of a dynamic universe. The creative force that orchestrates the entire universe created us. It doesn't matter if we call the orchestrator God, the spirit, mother, nature, cosmos, or Gaia. We are a piece of something big. Meditation connects us to all that is. We often look to meditation as a chance to unplug from the world, but in reality, we are plugging into the universe. By getting in touch with our soul, we can easily match the vibe of the universal soul. We can begin to see ourselves as expansive rather than restrictive. We find that we can connect to others more quickly, and our reality becomes much more significant in return. Astrology is the most ancient and rich way of understanding humanity as it connects us to the cosmos. As above, so below. Astrology's depth and multifaceted descriptions of people brings insights into our unique spirit and story. Whether we believe in the science behind astrology or use it as a metaphor for understanding how people work is not essential. Listen to the story, and if you find it helpful in making sense in your life, In finding purpose and meaning beyond apparent everyday existence, enjoy the story I am about to tell you. Let the story I am about to tell you flow past and through you. Breathe into it, feel its natural rhythm, and take whatever your heart may resonate from it with you. You may want to come with me on a bit of a journey deep into the landscape of your imaginings. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Allow yourself to float inside your new breath as you breathe in again. Imagine yourself lying on a hilltop on a warm summer's evening. The sky is velvety dark, the stars shining brightly. You might feel the coolness of the grass under your body. You feel safe and at peace, looking above to the vastness of the starry heavens. The great river of the Milky Way flows with a myriad of stars twinkling in their familiar patterns. There are planets moving and shifting in their seasons as the great wheel spins in space. Be aware of the vast beauty of it all. Feel a deep sense of awe and wonder as you become aware of those rhythms, the singing and dancing of the stars. Be mindful of our solar system. The sun provides warmth and energy for the movement of the planets. That hot central core offers 98% of the entire solar system's light and heat. Feel as if you are holding your beautiful Earth in the palms of your hands like a precious jewel. Watch as the moon revolves around and pulls the tides, ebbing and flowing twice a day, backwards and forward. The sun and the moon dance their great rhythms. Notice the planet Mercury, the quicksilver messenger of the gods, silver-winged feet and rainbow wand in hand, moving like lightning between the planets. Mars and Venus, male and female energy, dance their sweet rhythms. Jupiter, the generous ruler, and Saturn, the courteous lawgiver, breathe in and out to their gentle rhythm. Further out, the planet Uranus shines with newness, innovation, and excitement. And even further away, Neptune moves the spirit to more incredible visions. And Pluto, the furthest away from us, from the dark underworld and fates of man. Feel its rhythm singing through your veins as you watch the stars. As above, so below. Everything under creation is represented in the soil and the stars. Everything has two witnesses, one on earth and one in the sky. Therefore, everything represented in the ground and represents in the sky. You find yourself lying at the top of that beautiful hill. It is late. The sky is clear and complete with twinkling stars. The Milky Way spreads itself as it flows across the night sky. And the planets moving in their rhythm, dancing through each of the signs of the Zodiac. And there is Jupiter, a giant, expansive planet, king of the gods, also known as Zeus, or Thor, or Jupiter, overlord of earth, the good luck charm, the philosopher and forever seeking traveler, a lover of adventures, smiling in the heavens. And as you watch, Jupiter bathes your whole body as you rest on the grass, feeling the earth beneath you. As Jupiter bathes you in his soft light of generosity, enthusiasm, and optimism, breathe in that light. Feel the energy of this philosophical, seeking, expansive, and wandering planet in every cell of your body. As you feel yourself drifting and dreaming on your breath, you remember the story of Jupiter, the king of gods. It is almost as if you can hear his generous laughter booming across space, his kindness, his interest in the smallest and least of his subjects, broadening everybody's horizons. He is faithful to kingship. He is the wise sage and guru. And it seems as if you are curled up in the palm of his giant hands, watching his twinkling eyes smiling at you with love, compassion, and empathy. He blows a great kiss to you. You feel a sense of safety, self-forgiveness, self-love, and protection. You stop for a moment in awe of this beautiful teacher as he continues his quest, the meaning, the question, and the purpose of life. Teacher of the children of gods, excellent storyteller, you feel a sense of peace and strength, surrender, trust, faith, imagination, and intuition wash over you. You feel the power within your body. You experience deep connections to the earth and the pleasure and appetites of the earth, and your longings stretch to the stars. At this moment, your curiosity sparks. What intention can I set for myself? Or what intention may arise for myself and my self-evolution and personal growth at this moment in time? What intention may I set for myself under Jupiter's ray of self-love, self-tolerance, self-compassion, and self-forgiveness that may spark a more soul-connected, faithful to myself expression energy tonight? I would like you to connect to this intention and place it in your heart. Take a moment to do so. As you get up from the grass, you turn now to go down the path lit clearly by the light of the moon. You come back from dream time. You are bringing everything and all you need to know from your journey before with you, such as your intention, strength, and wisdom, the breadth of vision and exploration, optimism, enthusiasm, and the generosity of heart you received from Jupiter. You are combined with the pearl of liquid light of love, imbuing your heart space in softness and spaciousness that radiates throughout your body. I will count backwards from 5 to the number 1 now, so that you may slowly come back to awareness. 5, 4, 3. Either allow yourself to drift into a night of deep sleep or to become awake, alert, and refreshed from your journey. 2 and 1. Gently and in your own time, open your eyes, blinking until you can start focusing again. Namaste. Thank you for joining me in the meditation. Be blessed and take care. Thank you for joining me on the YouTube. Bye.